Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. We are your hosts, and I am your favorite shade queen, my own royalty.
I am your favorite shade king, big man youth.
Okay.
And they call me you, man. Pro-black activist, TDA producer, news analyst, melanin jam packed.
Absolutely love it. Love it. What made you go with that verse? I like
You know
it.
what? You just caught me off guard. I was trying to get the document out, but then I was like, oh shit, it's me. So I just said whatever came to my head.
Fair enough. Fair enough. How's everyone doing this lovely morning?
Yeah, I'm alright. A bit
Oh, good,
frazzled.
thank you.
Bit frazzled. Bit frazzled dazzled, but I'm here.
We're here.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Love to see it. So
Yeah.
you guys now have 3 rules for you guys, the listeners. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and join our TNB network. A lot of you have been joining. Every time I go on there, it's a whole host of new people. So you can join the network by typing into your browser, community.thenewblack.com. Also, there's a really cool feature on there where you get to invite other people. Like, it makes it so easy for you. All you have to do is just refer someone else. It sends you can send them a direct link, or you just put the email in and it does it for you. And you get badges. Someone's on a bronze. I can't remember her name.
Iman, yeah.
Iman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick up you, Iman. She's on bronze already. Absolutely love to see it. But so do all of that great stuff. Like the video, you're gonna like the show. At some point this week, we will be giving you the full rundown of how things were working on there in terms of the TDA aspect. But if you join, you'll see this already like cool stuff, cool little groups forming for different areas of interest. So yeah. And when it prompts you to download the app, do so. It's a cool app. Right, should we get into the show?
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so the first headline, trigger warning. It's a very sad story, to be fair. But yeah, I'll get straight into it. So a 9-year-old girl was fatally shot when a man being chased by a gunman forced his way into her Liverpool home. Olivia Pratt-Corbell was shot in the chest as her mother struggled with the men at the door of her house in Dovecot at about 10 o'clock on Monday. The gunman fired indiscriminately, hitting Olivia, her mum, Cheryl Corbell, in the wrist, and the man that he was chasing in the body. Merseyside police said the family had no connection to the 2 men who forced their way into the house. Speaking at a press conference, Chief Constable Serena Kennedy appealed for anyone with information to come forward, adding that now was not the time to remain tight-lipped. Merseyside police broke down what happened as follows. A 35-year-old man ran into their home, followed by a man armed with a handgun. After Miss Corbell opened the door to see what the noise was about. Olivia was fatally shot and Miss Corbell was shot in the wrist as she tried to shut the door. The gunman then fired 2 more times through the gap in the door, hitting the 35-year-old in the upper body before running away. The injured man was then driven away in a black Audi, while Olivia and Miss Corbell were left behind. The gunman was described as about 5'7", of slim build, carrying a handgun and wearing a black padded jacket, a black balaclava, and black gloves. Miss Kennedy said, "This was a shocking and appalling attack which will reverberate around our communities. We need to find all who are responsible for this, not just the gunman. We need to find who supplied the weapon and who arranged this terrible incident." She added that she wanted to appeal to Liverpool's criminal fraternity for information, as Olivia's death was an absolute tragedy and crosses every single boundary.
That is ridiculously sad.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
Yes.
Poor babe, man.
Next bit of news is a bit of good news, actually.
This is fantastic news.
Yeah. So, we've been speaking about this, I think, all week, plus some of last week as well. But this is about the student nurse, Owami Davies. She has been found alive and well in Hampshire, the Met Police have confirmed. A member of the public came forward after a police appeal, which saw a huge public response and 117 possible sightings. Miss Davies, who was studying nursing at King's College London, left her home in Grays, Essex on the 4th of July and was last seen on CCTV in Croydon on the 7th of July. Police had been working to retrace the 24-year-old's steps, with some 50 officers trawling through 50,000 hours of CCTV footage. The Met said that she had been discovered after the 118th reported sighting. which it had received at 10:30 on Tuesday. The force added Miss Davies' family had spoken to her and she appeared to be fit and well cared for. Officers will speak to Miss Davies more fully in due course about her welfare. Detective Chief Inspector Nigel Penny, who led the investigation, said it was the outcome we were all hoping and praying for. He said, "I would like to say she had been found safe and well outside the London area in the county of Hampshire, and she's currently with specialist officers from my team. She looks in good health, she's in a place of safety, and not currently in the vulnerable state that we were led to believe she was in at the start of her disappearance."
They need to get to that bottom of that case,
Mm.
like expeditiously, because how does this end up in Hampshire? And
Mm.
because I remember they arrested like a few people
Yeah, like
for
5 people.
kidnap
Yeah,
and
murder.
how did she get there? Do you know what I mean? I feel like, I hope they really get to the bottom of it and people do actually get arrested. I feel like it is
Mhm.
giving me kidnap,
Mm.
abduction type of energy.
A part of it was I was also getting like mental health as well. Because after a while they were talking about she might be on the trains approaching people.
Mm.
So I was thinking maybe it's the mental
But
health.
that might be for safety.
Yeah,
Maybe she managed to escape.
maybe you're right. Yeah,
It might be a thing of safety. I think if she was in it would be kind of obvious if she was in a mental
Mm.
vulnerable state. Do you get what I mean?
Mm.
It's not one of those ones I don't think you can hide.
Yeah.
I think that would be evidence. If they didn't think that
Mhm.
seeing her,
Mm.
there's definitely got to be more to the story.
More to it,
But
yeah.
hopefully, she can get all the love and support and healing that she needs because she's been missing for 2 months.
It's crazy.
And
Crazy.
apparently her workplace as well didn't log it in that she's been absent for her shifts.
Serious.
Yeah. They did this before. I can't remember who it was,
Mm.
but they don't be telling the authorities people are missing their shifts. They just assume
Mhm.
that, it's like that woman that was a woman, wasn't it? Yeah, that was found dead in her apartment. And she didn't for like 2 years. Remember? She died during COVID. We reported on it.
She's been the old woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
her landlord just applied for benefits on her behalf and was just taking up the what's it
the
called?
universal
The
credit.
rent.
Yeah.
Mad.
It's crazy.
Mm.
Well, hopefully anyway, Owami gets better and everything.
Does it say who she was with or what she was doing, or they just found her?
No, they just found her.
Yeah.
Someone just called it in.
Found, yeah.
Well, hopefully more will come out.
Mhm.
And then she can do what she needs to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our topic of the day. What?
Okay, so today's topic of the day is another topic that we can probably speak about for 20 hours.
What we
But
want?
we won't, of course. We'll just stay on, surface level and whatnot. But the question is, do we do it to ourselves? Right? So yesterday we spoke about colorism, which again we know exists. We know this, right? We don't need to go into that. We'll waste time doing that.
Mhm.
But the question today is, in 2022, right? Are we the biggest perpetrators of colorism?
Who's we?
As in black people, sorry. Black people. Right. And this is not just about colorism, by the way. This is about basically all the other ills that we kind of in the past would know and associate with white people doing to us.
Okay.
In 2022, are we the biggest culprits?
Have we become the villains that we hated?
Thank you very much. That's basically the question.
Okay.
Like, are we, is this PTSD? Are we behaving in a particular way? Or are the forces that are out there, are they actively doing things, even now, to keep us separated, divided and conquered? All of these type of things that, in the past, it was clear to see that the link was there.
Yeah.
Or have they kind of stopped?
I need an example. Is it outside of colorism, or do you mean even colorism itself?
Yeah, including colorism. So, for example, it could be maybe certain jobs, for example, you just won't get access to. For example, like you said before, hiring maybe one black person just to say you do certain things.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe back in the day, especially in America, you had the whole red tape thing, which affected their economies within certain communities. So, for example, if you were within a particular area, it's harder for you to get bank loans. It's harder for you to do certain things that would help you thrive. Outside of your community now, the same banks would give these other people, which obviously were not black or Latino or mixed race people, white people. So those things were put in place to obviously make it difficult for people to rise up in our communities. Do these things still exist? Or are we basically Are we our worst enemy? No.
I think it still exists. I think it all still exists.
Mhm.
I do think that with black people, I think it is like PTSD, and I know I'm aware I might not be using PTSD in the right context, so don't
You
fight
are.
me.
You are.
Listen, I don't know what people want anymore. I don't. But I do think that I don't think that we're doing to ourselves what we hate other people doing to us. But I think even if we are, I have more grace for, even though it might not be nice, but I have more grace for black people doing to each other
Mhm.
what we've complained about other people doing to us,
Mm.
because I think that us doing to each other is coming from a bad place.
Mm. Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It's coming from a place of not knowing better, a place of conditioning, a place of it's just I would say conditioning. To be fair, I think it's coming from a place of conditioning, and I don't think that black people, because even the harm we cause to each other, of course, it's not great,
Mhm.
or like whatever issues that we have within our community, it's not great, but we don't have enough power for it to fully terrorize people the way it is when other races have done it to us. If that makes sense,
Mhm.
do you get what I mean? I still don't think it's a good
Yeah.
thing, but I just don't think that we have so much power for it to have the impact that it did when the people with power did.
I think it's a mixture of both, really. I feel like white people are still practicing colorism, but it's kind of like they're doing it quietly.
It's covert.
Yeah, it's covert. They're doing it on a bigger scale, and they're almost what they're doing are the reasons why we are arguing amongst ourselves on the ground level.
Yeah.
And I think it as well is exclusive to different industries as well. So if you're looking at, for example, music videos, I feel like we're in charge of, the women that we put in our videos in front of our cameras, and our choices, I say but artist choices are based off of maybe the PTSD or the programming, the et cetera, et cetera. And I feel like because there's so much arguing amongst ourselves on socials, maybe it's looking like we're the perpetrators. But at the higher level, are we the cause of it? Or are we just arguing about what the powers that be are doing?
Yeah.
No?
I think that's what it is. I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
We're arguing about the what the powers that be are planting in our communities.
But the issue is we're arguing. So, for example, you might have black women attacking light-skinned women, but it's not the light-skinned woman's fault, is it, that she's being picked by the white person for this opportunity? Then it's a case of, okay, should light-skinned women turn down opportunities because of the plight of darker-skinned women? Like, where do we draw the line?
Because really, truly, how that then starts is just the white man favouring a certain complexion of black women. Do you get what I mean? But then, because it's like when people talk about the house slaves and all that kind of stuff, they obviously were all black to them, but they favoured this kind of black more, this complexion, more. And then, but then I think as a person who isn't favoured, you start to grow resentment towards the person that is favoured. But really, it's not their fault that they got picked. But I think it's similar to what I said yesterday, where there are people who they're aware of the privileges and whatever, but they still use their platform to raise awareness. Do you get what I mean? So just because I'm enjoying it doesn't mean I'm not going to raise awareness.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's some people who they know that they're enjoying that, and they kind of use that to have the same attitude the white man has to like their own people. Just because like, oh well, I'm favoured, and well, it's like a you problem kind of thing. But yeah, it makes it a bit tricky.
Do you feel like in I guess okay, both of you been to Stalk, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that place, yeah.
Like what's the employees like? Like sorry.
I mean, I was so hungry, I don't even recall.
Sorry, Stalk is a West African like
restaurant
posh
in
restaurant.
Mayfair.
Yeah.
From what I remember, the staff are all black. Right?
Yeah, they're black.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, actually, I had a couple of black servers, yeah.
Okay, cool. So
did you see the chefs though? Actually, no, I saw the chefs. They're black too. The ones I saw.
They better be.
Kind
of white and Spanish people cooking jollof. And
Ask Turtle Bay and them how that's going.
Oh, well, their chefs are.
What would the chef be like?
But then again, is Turtle Bay black owned? It's black food, but is it black owned?
That's the thing. That's what you have to, because that's
But
I don't know.
do you feel like a really good white chef can't learn how to make really good jollof rice or whatever African dish?
No, you absolutely can, but I just think if the stats is showing more whites than black,
Yeah.
the
question needs to be why.
Yeah.
See, but so even like that, right? Because okay, that's it. With the whole restaurant thing, right? If you feel, basically, the point I'm trying to get to is, if there's not a lot of black people getting into, let's just say, the restaurant business, right?
Yeah.
And then hiring black people as staff and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then you can see, for example, there's Indian restaurants and this, that, and the third, and they hire some black people and stuff, right? At what point does it become our fault for not doing our part? Do you get what I'm saying? Because if we're not doing our part, and then we're kind of pointing the finger and saying, oh, that restaurant over there should have more representation. Oh, those Asians should be doing this and the third. And we know full well that if we own a restaurant, we would hire black people.
Yeah.
But we're not, right? We're putting our money into frivolous things, for example,
Yeah.
At what point, like, who do we blame? Do you get what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
By our part, do you mean we're not
starting our own
businesses?
Yeah.
But do we have the opportunities
I think
and resources to start restaurants?
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we do it.
What?
Because we do it. Like, there's some restaurants out there.
Yeah, but it's not as popular as, say, other restaurants. I think it's difficult.
I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm just saying, do you feel like, okay, that
that's a
like,
luxury.
Following on from that question, right?
Yeah.
Are we doing enough then to then get into these industries? Do you feel like there's something that's blocking us from getting into restaurants?
It's said inflation out in the streets. I'm looking at you like, you report the news every day. What do you mean?
No, but inflation is a universal thing that hits everybody, right? And it's also become an issue in the last few years.
Yeah.
We've been in this country for decades and decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why you've got black barbers, you've got so many different businesses for stuff that we would consider essential.
Yeah, but even if you see like black barbers, I don't think black people have the resources they need, as in freely given to them to be able to do these things successfully. Do you get what I mean? Because if when you look at your barber, I don't know how long you guys been going to your barbers for, but has your barber like upgraded the shop?
Mine has.
Is it looking like? Is it that when you walk in? Is it looking like it's been taken care of continuously? New floors, new equipment, new chairs. Like, is it consistently been upgraded?
Not to the way I think you're pictured in your mind.
Yeah.
No, but it has over the years improved. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, is there need to? Because remember, if you're in Mayfair or you're in the city, like what's that other place? Is it Tony and Guy?
Yeah.
Right. They got the actual shops and salons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So in those type of areas, there you would need to do that. Plus, I'm assuming some of the hairstyles cost a couple £100 to do.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think even if I saw a Tony and Guy in quote unquote the ghetto, I still feel like Tony and Guy would maintain that image. I just think.
Yeah, what image do you
branding.
feel like barbershops have? Barbershops don't have a upscale, image or decor. They've never been
black
that way inclined.
ones.
Yeah.
Black ones don't.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Is that I don't feel like black people have had when I see Turkish ones, the Caucasian ones, I can see that there's investment there. So I don't think black people have the same resources that other races have to be able to invest and know more about business and stuff.
Nah, if for example, if my barber wanted to, do up his barbershop and make it proper, like upscale, he could. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to spend the money.
Because there's no need to.
Does he have the money to do that though?
100%.
Yeah, of course he has.
100%. They make a lot of money.
You as though they're accountants.
No, but I think they make a lot of money.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just saying, the point I'm trying to make here anyway, barber or no barber, hairdresser, whatever. I'm just saying that I don't think black people have the same resources and opportunities.
When you say resources, you mean they don't have the same money?
Like money, like just, like things that can help make our lives better. I don't think that black people have the same access to it as the whites and other races in the country do. I think black people struggle more than anybody.
I'm struggling to understand what your actual point is. Because
I'm going off what he was saying about us. What was it? Something like are we doing it to ourselves when it's like businesses and blah blah all that kind of stuff.
I think he's more talking about why are we starting certain businesses. For example, I think a better example might be, black cosmetic products. We always complain that, they're owned by Asian people, but we're not actively trying to open up our own shops. So why complain? This is what the point is. If you're going to complain about something, do something about it. Stop complaining about Asian-owned hair product shops if you're not going to start your own.
Yeah, so my point, so what I'm then saying off that is that I don't think that we have not only the knowledge, but even like the capital and all that stuff that's needed for us to be able to do that. Like there are black-owned like hair products and all that kind of stuff that are actually black-owned, as in someone started, they come up with the idea themselves and stuff like that. But when you hear them speak about the struggles and the difficulty in running it, it's something. There's a what's it called? Plant Maid. Check out Instagram. Her name's she's Ghanaian. Amma. So she started during lockdown. She started making hair oils and whatever. She used to use it herself, and it was great. She ended up, putting it out there, and it's proper. Every time she restocks, it sells out. But even she's spoken on the struggles of having to like do this and the business. I think her business made like 6 figures or something. I don't know if she's made $1 million or something like that. She's done amazing with it. But then she's one person that I know of in the whole community, because I feel like if it was very easy, I don't think that black people wouldn't be doing it. But in my opinion.
But this is the thing about businesses. I don't think any business is easy. And a lot of the time, remember, we're listening to black people.
Yeah.
We're not listening to white people start business and Asian people. It's a struggle. Remember, there's a lot of
it's a struggle, yeah. But do you know what it is though? Like they have better generational wealth than we do. A white person can start. Because I gave the example yesterday about about white kids buying houses.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because their parents bought houses and they passed it to them. Same with Asian kids. Like they can easily own a shop. Like one of my Asian friends, her parents have like 3 shops. They've got 3 kids. So guess who's gonna have those shops? Her and her siblings. Do you get me?
How long was the parents? You may not know, but like, was something handed down to the parents of your friend?
No, I don't think so.
So the parents came to this country and did it themselves.
Yeah, but do you think that when Asian people came here and black people, do you think we've had a similar journey?
It's been tough for Asian people too, you know.
That's
Very
great.
tough.
That's what I asked you.
Yeah.
Who's it been tougher for?
I can't say for sure who's been tougher for.
So I agree with you in which you're saying that there's more money, or maybe the money's being spent better in Asian communities, whereas in the black community, there's probably less money. We spend our money, like you said earlier, on frivolous
we 100% do
things.
No, because do you know what it is? I just think that black people's struggle has been very different from when they got here. Like
No,
even when our parents got here,
it has. The struggle has been different. I'm trying to ascertain your point about, for example, the barbershop. Because the way I see it is, for example, with my barber, I believe that he has enough money to do up the shop where it looks like you can walk into Tony guy. But with black barbershop aesthetics, traditionally, that's not really what they look like. Like what my barbershop looks like is how I envision a barbershop.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like he has to make it plush and especially it's on Wharf Road, it's on a corner. It looks right for where it is. Yeah. And I reckon I've seen his car, I know where he lives, stuff like that. So I know he has the money, but would he rather put his money in other things? Probably. It's a shop at a level where it's okay for his customers. Yeah. So I think it depends on you, innit? And I feel like there is probably a lack of interest in the black community in starting certain businesses. I reckon that's probably where it comes from. Yes, I believe that traditionally, Asian communities in particular, they do better with the cycle of money in terms of, nepotism and spending their money on certain things. Obviously, black people we're known for splashing our money on frivolous, pointless things. Could we use our money better? For sure. But it's down to personal choice.
Yeah.
It really is.
See, and this is the thing. The reason why I don't want to get into the whole who is it worse for, right? Is because I feel like there's a certain threshold that both communities was under. India, much of that whole like East Asian area, right? India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. These people were colonized, just like much of Africa was colonized. The struggles are not the same, right? But they came from colonized countries to the UK and went through a hell of a lot of racism, discrimination in London and other big cities in the UK. What I'm trying to say is I feel like their mentality was a bit different to ours. Granted, again, the struggle is different. We come as black people, right? They come and they recognize their differences. A Bengali doesn't think he's Pakistani. You know what I'm saying? And they know how to stick together in their groups. We come and just say, yeah, we're all the same, when really we're not the same. And so we ignore the things that cause those fractures. So I think it's hard for us to unify. But saying all that, I say this, right? They know how to inconvenience themselves for longer, for a vision.
Yeah.
This is why you get so many of them, probably cultural too, but they'll get married and they'll go back into their parents' house. They're not going to say, oh, we're married now, so let's go, buy our own place if we don't have the money. Get into loads of debt, for example. They will stay in the same house. They bring people from their home country, packed, 10, 12 people in one house, right? And everyone's going out working. Now, you don't have to necessarily waste, like we spoke about the other day, 30% of your pay on rent because we're all in the same house. You now effectively are saving 30% that you can all put together into a business. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is, it's like they don't come here to mess about. I'm not saying we do, but I'm trying to say there's a different mentality in terms of how you approach this particular country. It's like, and again, I know, I'm just to stress this to the people, I know the struggles are different. We went through different things. They didn't go through slavery like we did, 100%. So I'm not trying to belittle something. But in 2022, right, like we were saying before, we do a lot of things which I think if we just knew better, which comes down to us knowing better, not expecting white people to teach us better, because it doesn't happen. They don't teach Asian people anything, right? Could we not, of our own merit, make better decisions? So, for example, we know we like to spend money in restaurants. We spend hundreds of pounds on meals, taking girls out, treating men to different things in restaurants that don't give a crap about us. You know what I'm saying? What if we kind of came together, like I feel like many people, like even now, are doing, to create businesses? You know what I'm saying? And then all the problems that we kind of talk about, we rectify ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
I just don't think it's... Sorry.
I can't hear you in the mic, man.
Can you hear me?
Say again?
I'm probably not on.
Yeah, it's not on.
I just don't think it's like as easy as... I think there's greater obstacles that holds black people back from businesses, and I don't think black people want to be working jobs that's not paying them much and they can't really afford things. And I just don't think... I don't think that the lack of businesses is not because people aren't trying. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
I think that beyond that, there's so much stuff in the system that holds black people back. Even just the other day, I saw a bunch of event promoters on the timeline, organizers, talking about the struggle that they have to go through every single time they plan an event.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, they know you're black and already from the jump, they're like, no, not that the venue's not available, not that they won't bring the money in. They know they'll bring the money in. They know these things. They know all these things, but it's like, no, I can't remember what event it is, but some guy was talking about how, like, even when it comes to like events, yeah, they would raise up what the bar spend is, because they know it's a black event. They will raise up the money because they know obviously they're going to get it anyway.
Yeah.
They jack up the prices. So I don't think that black people don't desire to have businesses and stuff like that. I don't think it's that. I think that there's just stuff that holds them back, and I think the reality of things. Yes, everyone struggles, but I can only ever speak on black struggle because I'm within the black community.
Yeah,
people struggle and whatever, but I just don't think life has been the easiest for black people. I don't think there should be like a woe is me.
Yeah.
Let's not do anything about it. Absolutely do something about it, but I just don't think it's as easy as let me try and do something about it. Because even people that have been trying to do something about it for years consistently talk about this is a never-ending fight. I just think sometimes it's bigger than individuals in the community.
Okay. So, Ben, is your mic sorted?
Yeah.
Do you want to say your
Yeah, I
thing?
was just saying, when it was in my said that didn't go through the slavery that how we did, it's because he just needs the type of slavery and the longevity and the macabre things that it did to us. Our experience with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, put that out there.
Yeah. like again, because obviously, you know what, sometimes I take for granted that people who's listening to this don't know who I am, right? So obviously I'm pro-black to the core. So obviously I'm basically talking what I'm saying to stimulate conversation and to basically say to ourselves, can we do better, right? It's not a case of me denying, you know, what we've been through as black people. But my thing is, like, again, like, basically my whole thing is this, right? My entire background is in the line of like Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, doing for self. Not expecting white people or any other people to do for you. And sometimes when I look around and I see what black people we spend our money on the things we prioritize, I can't help but think we have to take accountability for certain things. We know slavery's happened. We've had the worst slavery in all of human history. 800 years the Arabs did what they did to us. After that, Europeans did what they did to us. Plus you had colonization. Everything's happened to us, right? And this is why I mentioned the whole PTSD, you know, or post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? With the generational, the consequences of that is generational, right? So of course it affects how we think. But many of us today think like proper free people, but choose to use the freedom for certain things that don't really benefit us or the generations down the line. But I see that in other communities. And I'm basically saying, could we do better? I put it this way. There's a book here called Willie Lynch, right? It's by Willie Lynch, or it's called Willie Lynch, right? And basically about slavery. And basically what it is a letter where he's writing to slave owners, right? Saying, effectively, this whole thing that we've got now with slavery, how we literally can enslave these people, there's literal chains and we can whip them, it's not going to last forever. How can we do certain things to put in place as a system so that when slavery ends, the effects that we get from slavery still continue? I believe that's happening today, right? But how do we get out of that, number one? And number two, is it as bad as we think, where we're literally almost like zombies and we're just doing whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, again, you see in different communities all around the world, migrants have gone to different countries who have done certain things. Of course, like, it varies from group to group. But I remember seeing something recently about how the Jews, for example, were in Miami, right? They weren't allowed to do certain things in Miami. And they were frustrated by it. So what they do, they came together and they bought up all the land, the property in Miami. You can't tell them to do anything now. You can't tell them anything because they own it. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so what I'm trying to say is, if, for example, we complain about industries, there's no black representation in these industries. How about we start our own industries? You know what I'm saying? Restaurants are not hiring enough black people. Okay, cool. Yes, thank you. The Making of a Slave, the Willie Lynch letter. That's the book I was referring to. Thank you, Brent. Like, why don't we do those things? And I find it hard to believe that it's just down to we don't have the money or the resources. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're doing, like, this. Oh, I don't pocket watch, right, at all. But we've got rappers spending how much on certain things.
I don't believe it's money. Like,
it's not.
I hear what you're saying. Everything you're saying is true. Everything you're saying is true. But I don't believe it's the fact that we don't have the money or resources. Yes, I reckon there's a lot more red tape. There's a lot more barriers. And there's a lot more discrimination between us. So when we try to do things, there are a lot of hurdles we got to try and jump through. But resources are definitely there. Know-how is definitely there. It's just, what are we prioritizing and what are we doing with our resources? I think that's something we got to definitely look into. But yeah, you're right. There is definitely, discrimination is heavy upon us and we always have to try and, you know, bob and weave our way through the system to get to where we want to be. But there's definitely know-how there, man. We just got to do better with our choices.
Yeah. I don't think we can hear you through the mic, bro.
Hello? Is it off again?
Yeah, I think it is off. Basically, Brent just said we're some of the highest spenders in the hair and beauty industry. Yeah, man. And we're 3% of the population. You know what I'm saying? Under 4% of the population in this country. We spend so much on these things. We, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Surely we could do more.
Even that, where do you think that came from?
Where did what come from?
The fact that we don't even know the value of maybe like creating businesses and all this stuff, and we rather spend it on quote unquote frivolous, materialistic stuff?
You tell me.
No, I'm not. I haven't got nothing to tell you. I'm asking. I'm asking. Like, do you think that's just come from interest, or do you think that that's something that
Conditioned.
we were conditioned?
I think condition.
But after a while, when we know better, we do better.
Yeah.
Right?
When are we gonna break the cycle?
But that's why then there's individuals within society that break the cycle.
Mhm.
That when conditioning has happened for generations and generations, it's not as easy to just be like, okay, let's be unconditioned now, guys. Do you get me?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not that easy. So you have individuals in places who are not materialistic, who have like in their minds, like, actually, I'd rather not spend money on this, I'd rather spend on this and blah, blah. And it shows, but it can't be the masses.
It may not be the masses, but I don't know. Like, again, we had slavery, colonization, but many black people who came to this country didn't come here as slaves, right? We didn't come here as colonized people, right? We struggled hard. We came here and then we worked hard to then, get flats, houses for our children, our generation to do certain things. Back home, there's no welfare. There's none of these things. You had to be somebody who could create from nothing. This is what black people do. So we're creators. You know what I'm saying? Like, so back home, you just go and people get by because they have small businesses.
Even with that, obviously I don't know about the other communities, but like, even with that, like black people, I know we're Africans anyway, they came here to work so they can not just like cater to their lives here, but also send money back home. So when I'm talking about that the money and stuff that's available to people, I'm not talking about the rappers and all that. Like, that's their business. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about those. I'm talking about laymen or layman. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about everyday people.
You're talking about the generation before us, our parents.
I'm talking even our generation. Because I think, I just don't think is that the knowledge is there, the resources are there, go ahead and start a business. People are struggling. Like, just the other day, I'm having a conversation with someone and she's saying to me, like, talking to me about how she's had to take care of her family for years. And she's like, if I didn't do that, I would be able to have 3 properties. That's not someone who doesn't desire to have a business. That's not someone who doesn't desire to have extra income or to create whatever. But the realities of their life means that they're not in that, they can't, that's a luxury to them.
100%, I agree with you. But again, just to play devil's advocate a bit, right? In Asian communities, there's Asian people that will sit down in front of us right now and say to us, I could have had 3 properties too, but I had to take care of my people in Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? So there's still in every community, the minorities anyway, those who could have got further, but because of the struggles, it held them back. But there's still a certain group, there's a certain amount of people that still prioritize a lot more than the amount in our community. And my thing is, why is that? Is it solely down to slavery, the effects of slavery, colonization? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because my basically where I'm going with this is, if it's down to other people, are we then doomed? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're going.
Like, what do we do with this?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
So for you, Emmanuel,
Yes, but
what would your steps be? Obviously, it's easier to get your message out there when it is you're hyper visible, right?
yes.
So that's the first protocol for you, right?
Mhm.
And education is key in this particular plight. No?
100%.
Where would we start? Would we start at home? Would we start in the churches? Because we've seen examples of wealth being
Being shared in churches.
100%. It's the best business out right now. Yeah.
The what?
Hmm?
It is the best business.
The best business.
But how come it's not trickling down if it is in churches 24/7?
Because those people at the top are like, the people of Amazon, like every other business. They're not trying to trickle down those things to the people who
So the pastors aren't looking to do it? The ones that you love?
that I love. I've never come here and defended pastors.
Oh, really?
What?
I defend pastors.
Sorry?
What indeed?
I defend the pastors.
On this same sofa that you sat in?
Wait a minute. Are you misconstruing what I'm saying?
Probably. Let's see.
Yeah, I think
I don't defend pastors like for what do you call it? How do I put it? But basically, what I'm trying to say is this: if there's pastors who live a particular way, right, and they're spending money, they get X amount of money. I believe it's their prerogative to do whatever they want to do with the money, because I see it as a business, like I see every other thing like a business. It's down to the business owner. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. I don't think it's down to the pastor to have to worry about the people inside the congregation who are not even reading the Bible that the pastor's reading from. Does that make sense?
No.
Right. Why?
No. Sorry. In my head, I'm thinking the easiest and the quickest place to push out this information that you want to the black community is from the pulpit, right? Because a lot of black people start in church, right? I'm just talking about Christianity here.
Okay,
I'm talking about Islam, I'm talking about Christianity.
Yeah.
So if this is the easiest way to start, quote unquote, conditioning them to think like these communities that you are heralding.
I'm not heralding it, but yeah, okay.
Heralding meaning you're taking good things from them and saying we should be doing the same, right?
Okay.
Yeah?
Mhm.
That's fine?
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. Shouldn't it be more of it? These pastors that just drip and, you know, spend money.
Yeah, but this is why I said it in the same way, because I know people don't understand what I'm trying to say, but just to be clear, this is why I kind of see
Let's
it
have
like,
some hope that they will.
okay.
Yeah.
No, but
Let's
I
be
was just gonna elaborate, right? And basically just say, this is why I kind of see them as the same as rappers. I don't pocket watch. I'm not saying rappers need to do more. I believe people should do more because they want to. I don't believe anyone should be forced to do anything in life. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I can't blame the pastors because there's people who come there willingly, right? And give their money and get nothing in return.
All right. When you say you don't think that these people who are benefiting from the community in which it is that props them up shouldn't do more, you don't think that they should? Or
No.
They should need to?
No, I don't think that we just have to force pastors. If they're in a role and they believe they're being called by God to do a particular thing, they should do it because of that particular unction from the Holy Spirit, from God, whatever. I don't think we need to force them. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. Do you believe that people within the community who have been put on this particular pedestal of fame and status has a responsibility to the community to look to better them or send a message which is more prosperous than negative?
I mean, I think it would be good, but again, I don't believe anyone should be forced to do anything that's outside of what they really want to do. I believe you get the best out of somebody who wants to willingly do it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't really agree with the whole, he should be doing this and you just don't know what people are going through. You don't know anything about people's lives. So I don't think people should point the finger necessarily.
I hear that.
Yeah.
What? You've been sitting on this platform for the longest while preaching. Not preaching, that sounds negative. But I don't mean it as negative.
Mhm.
You've been purporting a particular message.
Yeah.
Right? And it's to your point, it's to our benefit that we listen because it's for the progression of the black people, right?
Mhm.
Should I expect when it is that you get status and notoriety for you to basically continue this?
100%.
Why?
Because I'm different. Because I genuinely care about black people. And because you're hearing from my mouth that I care about black people.
Yeah. So this is kind of what it is I'm saying. Forget me saying they need to be better when it is that they have this particular power and influence, right? But more so, I should say, shouldn't they be expected to
again, it depends on because I don't think pastors come out and say, I care about black people.
I'm
let's
not
do
just
this.
talking about pastors.
No, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I don't think that's the message. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm coming out and I'm saying to you, black people, let's do for self. And then I get to a position where I can do, right? And I've got businesses and black people are not benefiting. I'm not hiring black people. I'm not doing this, that, and the third. Then it's a problem.
And bear in mind, this is just if it is that they've been held to this or put on this lofty position through the resources of the community. Do you understand? If we've helped them to get to the position that they've gotten to, if they basically, off the back of our sweat and tears and our pockets, gotten to the position that they've gotten to. This is what I'm saying. For example,
even if they're not saying,
if this is what they literally like leaned in on it. Like for example,
okay, cool.
Tyler Perry, yes,
the
entire black community got him to where he is, right?
Okay, yeah,
and we love him for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what has he done off the back of that? He's looked and made sure and put black people on anywhere and any chance he gets.
You can, yeah.
And the message that he purports for black community is positivity, yes?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
These are the examples I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And he 100% would have put his hand up and said, yes, they got me here, and this is why it is I'm doing what I'm doing. He definitely has a love for his people.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. These are the examples I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So if through your come up, you've used the black community,
Mhm.
you've used our pockets, our love, our adoration
Mhm.
to get to where you are, and shouldn't we expect more of you when it is that you get to that position? I shouldn't expect you to now look to divorce from us and look to go your own way or even be negative as it pertains to our plight.
Honestly, I think it depends on the person, you know. Honestly, I think it depends on the person because that's like saying
No, when you say depends on the person, you're still putting it on them. I'm talking about is it bad for us to expect that of them?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really think it depends on the person because you wouldn't necessarily expect white people to expect something of Jeff Bezos and all them type of people there. You know what I'm saying? Because most of his consumers are white. Nobody does that. You know what I'm saying? But if he comes out saying, yo, white people, we need to do more for ourselves because these black people are catching up, yo, and white people start gravitating
I don't know if I
then
can
it's
take,
different.
I don't know if I could take that particular comparison because we are different.
Yes.
The power dynamics, it's completely different.
100%.
So where you say that, well, I don't see it like that because white people don't expect much of Jeff Bezos. We've been in the gutter for the longest while. They've been on our necks for the longest while.
Mhm.
I mean, using us to basically get to where you are, you're using an already reduced or minimized source,
Mhm.
right? So once you get there, now flipping don't close the door.
I get what you're saying, right? But you see, this is why I said to you before. Remember when we were talking about TMB, right? And you know what we're gonna do this and that. And I always said to you, we can't rely on black people to just support TMB because we're black. We can't do it, and we shouldn't do it. We need to do it because our system is better than everybody else's.
I agree, but I'm saying something different.
No, but I'm saying the principle is the same. Like we can't necessarily expect, okay, because this person has started a business.
No, I agree with what you're saying.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
saying something different. What I'm saying is, when this particular community gets TMB to where we are going,
Yeah,
we can't turn around and basically say, F you guys.
100%. No.
I expect every single last one of them to hold us accountable
Good.
going forward. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying to you, Brent. It's because we've come out and we've said this though. We've also said this is about black people.
This is precisely, Emmanuel.
Okay,
so
okay.
If they have literally used us and come out and saying, this is what I plan to do.
Okay, yeah, 100%. Of course that we should.
The expectation
100%.
literally should be held.
100%. I agree with you.
All right. Cool.
100%, yeah. I thought you would just say if they didn't say that.
No. If
Okay,
they
cool.
literally, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, people.
No, it's all right.
Yes.
This is killing me. I looked at your Twitter.
Oh.
There's a tweet about locks.
Listen, I'm here and there. I'm everywhere at the same time. All right. Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, man.
Sorry,
Okay.
did y'all just switch off?
No, I was listening.
This
I was,
is literally an example of what the man is talking
no,
about.
I was listening, but I was listening. I went on Twitter quickly.
And she took my hair.
That's the tweet. I checked the tweet. I said 1 minute ago.
Nah, I'm trying to support black businesses. You want black businesses doing well, don't you?
Fantastic.
I'm trying to support a black business.
Multitasking. All right, baby.
That's
If
right.
anyone can do locks, message me.
Only black people.
Yeah, I don't think I trust a white person to do my locks. So I think you should mind their own hair
Yeah,
type.
but remember, yes.
Let's all focus on our own hair textures. And, you know.
All right.
All right, let's go into our next headline.
All right, people. So this next headline is about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Okay, so the UN Human Rights Office says it's concerned by reports that Russia plans to try Ukrainian prisoners of war, POWs, in the Russian-occupied Mariupol. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Ravina Shamdasani, said there was evidence that metal cages were being built in the Ukrainian city's concert hall, apparently to restrain prisoners of war during proceedings, adding that such plans were not acceptable and humiliating. She also said international humanitarian law prohibits the establishment of courts solely to judge prisoners of war, and that willfully depriving a prisoner of war of the rights of fair and regular trial amounts to a war crime. Russia has previously denied unfairly treating prisoners of war. In addition to this, Ukrainian officials have ridiculed Russia's accusation that its special services were behind the killing of Daria Dugina, the daughter of an ultranationalist in a car bomb attack that we spoke about this week. Denying involvement, National Security and Defense Council Secretary Oleksiy Danilov said, "We don't work in this way." A memorial service for Ms. Dugina, 29, took place in Moscow on Tuesday. For those unaware, Ms. Dugina was a commentator on Russian nationalist TV channel who died when her car blew up on the outskirts of Moscow. Her influential father, Alexander Dugin, may have been the intended target of the attack. His expansionist ideas of a new Russia on Ukrainian territory are said to have influenced President Vladimir Putin's annexation of Crimea in 2014. President Putin condemned the crime as vile and cruel and posthumously awarded Ms. Dugina the Order of Courage. Her 60-year-old father paid tribute to her as a rising star at the start of her journey. She was brutally murdered in front of him by Russia's enemies, he said, and he went on to call for victory over Ukraine. That's our first headline.
Russia's having a tough week, boy. So Russia having a tough week.
Yep, they are. The next headline is basically about stuff that's happening right now, back here in the UK. And this is about students who are stuck with clearing issues trying to get into uni. So students still waiting for their BTEC results say that they're losing out on university places as the race to snap up spots through clearing heats up. New figures show that record numbers of school leavers are looking for a course after missing their target grades. Record numbers, right? BTEC students who were due to get their results last Thursday say the delays threaten their future plans. Exam board Pearson says it's working around the clock to get results out to those still waiting. Some students are said to be left feeling completely disheartened due to failing to get a place through clearing. Normally, the process gives students who don't get their required grades an opportunity to get onto a different course. Many taking the BTEC, which is a vocational alternative to A-levels, were due to get their results from the Pearson exam board last Thursday, but instead received them the following Monday. This means that those who did not get the grades for their first choice, they unfortunately also may have missed out on this opportunity of a second choice because of how late their results were released. And that's the end of the headlines.
Shouldn't there be something in place there? Because it's not my fault. Do you get what I mean? But at the same time, I don't want to sound insensitive or anything.
But
it's like the L's just keep rolling in. It's just another L you got to take.
Wait,
If you didn't get good grades,
yeah,
that's one L.
Mm.
You missed out on where you wanted to go. It's another L.
yeah.
Your grades happen to be late. It's another L.
Yeah, but the grades being late, that's not their fault.
It's not, yeah, but
But you can't expect universities to wait.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
the world keeps going.
Yeah.
I know it's the L they gotta take it in, but that one they can't take it because they didn't do it. They didn't. They're not the reason why the grades late.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't have an option in whether you take the L or not.
Because,
The cause of the L might not be your fault, but you got to take it.
because a good grade could still be late.
That's true.
This doesn't mean
Very
that
true.
this
But
is
that's
not,
true. I
it's
knew
not,
you could miss that.
it's not exclusive to bad grades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not making fun of anybody, by the way. I went to my university through clearing. I'll just put that out there.
I haven't heard the word clearing.
I know in years.
Yeah,
Thank
innit?
God
Yeah.
we would have a reason to hear it. All right, let's get into Word on Road. One thing I love about this world, yeah, is the audacity of people. People are so audacious, yeah. It's actually mad. So do you guys remember in 2016 when Kim Kardashian was robbed in Paris?
Yes.
And they basically the robbers got into a hotel. So what happened was she was there for Paris Fashion the Paris Fashion Week. And obviously they had their security there. She's usually got a guy called Pascal. He's been in the family for years. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. So that day, her sister decided to go, but they've been out already, whatever. Her sister decided to go out. And she thought she didn't want to go, whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. You can take the security. So she was basically in the hotel on her own. Well, the guys, they're called, what they're called? The granddad robbers. They're called because they were about 60 at the time. Yeah, they were 60 at the time, and basically they end up robbing her. But what they basically did, the man said that they've been watching her for time. So they knew about her. They knew that she's rich. She likes to show off jewelry, all that great stuff. She's got the jewels. She's got the stuff. And so they've been watching her for time. This man who speaks out, Eunice Abbas, he also said how he saw an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians when she lost her earrings in the ocean in Bora Bora, I believe. And she was crying about it. And then this is where the famous meme comes from. When Courtney was like, Kim, there's people in the world that are dying, because she was all crying about her earrings or whatever. So anyways, this uncle, basically, he's been released from prison. He was in prison. Obviously, they got caught. He was in prison. He's come out of prison. This man is doing a sit-down interview. Memoir. He's got a memoir. It's a whole thing, right? And he basically says that he does not feel guilty. He does not care. He said, you can't be out here flashing your stuff if you don't want poor people to come and steal it from you.
Wow.
He basically said, he said she was throwing money away. He used to see her showing off her jewelry online and whatever. He said he saw the episode where she's crying about her diamond. But the way he said, oh, I saw her throw her earrings away. No, sir. She lost them. She was crying. She was really upset about it. But anyway, he said he saw that episode as well. So he just thought, if she's throwing money away, I'm going to come and collect it. And that was actually this is a direct quote. Since she was throwing money away, I was there to collect it. And that was that. He said, say no more. That's it. So he was one of 12.
And this guy is not Nigerian. He
isn't.
Absolutely no remorse.
Eunice.
Zero remorse, man.
Zero, okay? Zero. So they're called the grandpa robbers. They're in the 60s.
What?
Your age mates are out here trying to, if you haven't got a wife, you're trying to chirp the girls in the care home, and this is what you're doing. Crazy. So anyway, so the way they planned it as well, they'd been at the hotel since like the day before, since midnight, whatever. They've been camping there, watching the movement. So when the sisters went out, they knew. When security left, they knew. There was the concierge. He got tied up. They basically tied that guy up. But I'm sorry, these are actually old men. Anyway, they tied him up, but that's how they got caught, because obviously his DNA was on the person he was tying up. So he's not even giving police credit for their investigations. He said basically they would have caught him if he didn't tie the guy up. He said, I was already a criminal, so I was already in the system. That's how you guys were able to catch me. So don't think you did anything special. I basically would have gone away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids, basically, Uncle said. So yeah, he said he doesn't care and doesn't feel bad. He said celebrities to be less showy towards people who can't afford it, because he said it's provocative if you do these things.
Wow.
Apparently as well, he and another person were downstairs and the other ones went upstairs. So they basically tied her up, put a gag in her mouth, went and put her in the bathtub. Obviously, she was scared that trigger warning that she would get, raped and killed and stuff.
Sorry, they did that to Kim?
Yeah, that's what happened to her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought she went out and they just took her stuff.
No, her sisters went out.
Okay.
She didn't go out that night, but she said, because she was in a hotel in a proper establishment, she said it's fine, her sister can take the security. So she had no security.
Yeah.
She had no security. So she was on her own.
Oh, wow. So it was quite bad then.
It was very, very bad. Very, 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 very traumatic. Yeah. Because I remember and they took her engagement ring that Kanye gave her. Like they took like $10 million worth of jewelry.
Wow.
And since then, obviously after that, you could tell that she was just obviously distraught. Like even, I think it was 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. When it was the 5th year, around the 5th year, she had an interview as well and talked about how she still suffers from that. She said she doesn't keep jewelry in her house, not even in a safe, nothing. She doesn't keep money. She said if there's money in the house for whatever reason, she can't sleep. She says she also doesn't wear flashy stuff like jewelry and all that kind of stuff. So if you see it on me, it's borrowed or more time is fake. She's not playing those kind of games anymore. She said it did make her feel like it made her realize that it just made her be less materialistic. Because she said back then, she wanted to have the nicest cars and that nicest this. And she said after suffering that, it just wasn't, it just really changed her mindset and experience. But yeah, this man was ridiculous. And apparently they dropped something, I thought it was like a pendant or something, like $300,000 or whatever. And a member of the public found it. But basically what they did as well with the jewelry, they melted it. So they had a vote, the grandpas. They took a vote and they said the best way so they're not tracked is to melt it and then sell it that way. But apparently the only thing that was left that didn't get melted was the ring. Whether it was recovered, I don't think it was. But yeah, it's very wild. They actually put a lot of planning into it. But I feel bad for her, man. That's just terrible. And then to have the person out here talking, and even guess what? So obviously he was in prison. Yeah, he was sentenced. He spent 22 months in prison, but he was released early on health grounds. So you're out here dying, and with your last lungs, with the last breaths in your lungs, you want to use it to talk about you don't care about a robbery and blah blah. And he said he's obviously like he expected her to be traumatized by it. He said it wasn't something light. That was traumatic.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll teach her and to other friends a lesson not to.
This guy is despicable, bro.
He's
He doesn't give a
sicko.
shit, bro.
He does not care. Like, it's mad. The level of not caring, I think that is just it's wild to me. But yeah, he's out here doing interviews, doing sit downs. Apparently, he might write a memoir on the robbery and all that. So I guess this is his claim to fame as well. Crazy scenes. But yeah, so mentioned early. No, we didn't actually. That was off air. But yeah, basically, Big Narstie, Ed Sheeran, and Papoose have got a song coming out. They shot the video yesterday, and the song's gonna be called Groundwork.
Okay. You know
One thing about Papoose, he stays working.
Yeah. You know whose track it is?
No, I reckon it might be Big Narstie and Ed Sheeran. I think it's a Big Narstie song. It looks like it, and then Ed and Papoose are featuring because it's like a rap song.
Okay.
Do you think? Okay, cool.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's a rap song.
Let me see if I can
I
find
don't know if Ed Sheeran does those.
It's
not like white
features
rap.
with white people.
No, but it's not like white rap. It's like
Like a proper
hood rap.
Yeah. Then it must be Narstie or Papooses then.
Yeah. I don't think it's Papoose because Papoose is saying that he put his Instagram. He said, live from the UK, shot an amazing video today with my two brothers. These guys are the biggest artists in the world. And it says, and he tagged Ed Sheeran, tagged Big Narstie, the UK giant. It's called Groundwork. Hope you're ready. And he said, blessed. I like Papoose. Man works hard.
Same, I like Papoose as well, man.
He just works hard. It's good vibes and
his image has changed over the years, though. Do you remember like when he first come out?
Yeah.
I thought this guy was the hardest, most gangsterous guy in the world.
Oh, is it?
What?
Yeah, his wife went to prison. He had to.
No, but this is before the marriage and all that type of stuff. This guy was, do you know what I mean? Like, shoot 'em up songs he had.
I don't know. I didn't get that impression from him. I knew he was hood,
Yeah.
but I didn't think he was the most super gangster guy.
Serious?
Nah. Not really.
Oh, sorry.
Because his bars was like,
But I know he's softened up over the years.
Yeah,
Now
100%.
He's always
Yeah.
talking about black love and
Yeah.
obviously relationship with Remy. But I never looked at Papoose like a super, super, super gangster.
Yeah.
I looked at him as super, super lyrical.
yeah.
But not super gangster.
I feel like I look at him like a quiet gangster. You know the guys that like they're cool and chilled, but if they're pushed
Yeah.
and tested,
Mhm.
they will come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives me that kind of vibe where he's calm and chilled, but
Mhm.
if you try it, he's gonna come and get you.
Yeah, man. I like Pat, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Last bit. This was causing a storm on the timeline yesterday. So there's always every year like clockwork. I mean, to be fair though, this goes in favor of both arguments because every year we have the conversations about what should be allowed in Notting Hill Carnival. So on one end, it's like every year we do this, but on the other side, it's like every year we do this. So leave the people them to do what they want to do. Like just stop it now. Anyways, there's been some conversation. It started off with should they play Last or not? That's how it started. It started with should Last be played at Carnival. I don't know if someone tweeted about how they wanted to hear Last at the Carnival and people started to cook them up and whatever. So anyways, yesterday they announced that there will be a Amapiano stage.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, apparently there will be a Amapiano stage at Carnival and the streets went wild. People were upset about it and it was just a whole kind of thing about, why should that be the case? And it should just be like Caribbean culture. Why do we have to try and bring everyone else into these things? Yeah, it was really something.
Maybe we should have, Brent, what do you think? Maybe we should have a live and make that topic of the day.
Yes.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting to hear people's perspective, like especially how we want to be, seen as collective, unified, black people, this, that, and the third. But yet, in certain things, we don't. We want, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not my views, I'm just saying. It'll be interesting to hear what
It
people
better not
think.
be of you. They're gonna cook your ass.
So people complaining about that Amapiano stuff.
Yeah, so they're basically saying like why we bring. So obviously, Amapiano comes from South Africa, so they're saying why we bring in African. Basically, I think people just want it to be Caribbean culture.
Yeah.
They don't want any sense of Africa, not to Afrobeats, nothing. Now it's like Amapiano. Obviously, Amapiano is what's going on.
Yeah.
Is the hottest cake now. But so they're like, why is there Amapiano stage at a Caribbean? That's something that's.
Whoa, damn police.
Hello.
I mean,
Sorry about that.
uncle.
Uncle's causing a scene. Right.
Making that. You want to sit down? But yeah, so it's just that kind of situation in terms of, you know, should it be allowed, should not be allowed? And people are basically saying that it's just like people basically it's disrespectful, basically people are saying. They feel disrespected because it's like, why is it all when it's our culture that people want to be doing, you know, come one, come all. Can't we just have this one day? Especially obviously with lockdown and stuff, it was cancelled and blah blah. So people were like, this is gonna be the first one. This is the first one since lockdown, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the first one since lockdown. Why are we now trying to do all inclusivity and all that kind of stuff? But I just think that people have their own things. I think that there's a lot of obviously I'm sure there's like Caribbean concerts and stuff.
I think Caribbean needs to lighten up, man.
Oh
No,
dear.
no, sorry, that's not gonna run.
I said it. Lighten up.
You had a lot of I said it moments this week.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. So is that? But I just think if it's something that celebrates their culture, I just think just let them have it.
Yeah,
I think we
let,
have
let,
Let them have it.
No, I mean, what are you talking about? Why are you taking that? Why are you taking offense? I mean, like, don't try and get involved in people. I'm talking about the Afrobeats people.
All right.
I'm saying the Afrobeats should just let like the Caribbeans enjoy what they want to enjoy. Like, don't try and infringe that. Brent, take that. Let people know that. No, I need Brent to let his people know that I'm on their side.
Yeah, because the importance is really, 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 really high. Like it's everything when it is that we came to this country.
Yeah.
Like what it is that we were subjected to.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is that how we responded was to basically try to make us less abrasive to them.
Yeah.
We did a lot in order to get that through. And the fact that is that it's even being minimized right now. I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. And for the longest while, we've given other Black cultures little spots in the carnival. It's not as if it is that we haven't been doing that. But to now look to showcase it mad. No. And the disrespect that's been attached to it, I don't like it at all. It's distasteful.
This is what Iman was talking about, man. This is the division within the Black community.
I don't think it is. I think the division is. How many insisting.
festivals do you guys have?
That's what I was gonna get to.
What, in the UK?
No, but Afrobeats. Afrobeats has a lot of
100%.
festivals.
Yeah, but in the
Even
UK
Afro Nation.
But
Afro Nation was majority Afrobeats and then a sprinkle of Caribbean artists. I just think let people like if that's their thing, let it be that. I think division comes when we're trying to infringe on someone else's.
I better not see any Caribbeans
culture.
eating jollof and chicken. Carnival, bro. Don't let me see you eating jollof.
No, you go to the Spectator.
I'm like, that's a walking around, walking the jollof like that.
My question is, who organizes the carnival though?
As in which entities?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably
Is it Black people? Is it
Probably-
Caribbean people?
probably Caribbean.
Yeah, there's a tweet I'm trying to
Entities.
find.
Because
Some girl-
if it's Caribbean people, right, who I'm guessing who would
Yeah, because there's a committee of them.
all right, of Caribbeans, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they're deciding to include African music.
Yeah. We've been doing that for some time though.
No, yeah, but so if they want to include the Amapiano thing on a bigger scale because of how popular it is, why is other cultures, the West Africans or South Africans, whatever it may be,
Okay, there we go.
getting into situations for this?
So basically, yesterday on Twitter, some guy said, MK, the one who does DLT, he said, don't fight me because I know how you guys get. Is it because it's carnival or because it's a celebration of Caribbean culture that other genres of music ain't accepted? And then the real Alika, she's an artist, she says, there are rules. There is a carnival committee behind carnival. That job is to maintain the integrity and tradition of carnival. Every year, the police and government bother them trying to get carnival locked off. Things like only playing soca, is soca, right?
Yeah.
And fete music.
Yeah.
Fete music on floats is not only for the masqueraders paying pounds to take part, to get what they paid for, but it also helps to keep them safe as playing what's popular on floats encourages outside people to crash the float and in turn get them penalized by the police and the government. That's why sound systems exist and people should use them. Like Caribbean culture aside, Carnival is a massive logistic operation. There are reasons behind rules that are actually very logical and simple to process. So this is just one aspect of Carnival in itself. But I've seen so many people talk about. Personally, I just think it is there to celebrate Caribbean culture.
Mm-hmm.
African is not. Afrobeats and stuff is not Caribbean culture. I know they'll be doing the accents and stuff here and there in the songs. I'm glad we moved past that because you're embarrassing for that. But
Burner's still doing it.
He's a different one. No one tells Burner what to do. Burner don't tell Burner what to do. But like, I just think that this is for them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them enjoy it. Like, we have a lot of festivals.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the first what's it called? Afro Nation. I have Caribbean friends that was in my group that I went with. They were very happy the day like Buju Banton was there, and like there's like three I knew that of them to be excited for.
Yeah.
There was, compared to the Afrobeat artists that were there, there's hardly any Caribbean. I just think, and that's what I was saying earlier about
some though, right?
Sorry,
but there was still some.
A sprinkle, barely. But what I was saying was as well though was that obviously I'm sure there's like Caribbean concerts and whatever through the year, but I just feel like there's so much noise around African, Afrobeats, whatever, that I just think let them enjoy what they want to enjoy.
So, Emmanuel, there's somewhat at Afro Nation?
Some of them.
Some of what?
Caribbean artists.
Were they featuring on the songs?
I don't know. Based on what
I know Afrobeat artists that feature Caribbean artists. I mean, that's why they're there, no?
No, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm based on what Esther's saying about some of them were there, right? You said Buju Banton was there?
Buju Banton was there, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, innit? I'm just based on what I'm hearing.
Listen, the same vim and vigor that black people are putting into this argument, next time there's something we can come together for, put the same energy into that, bruv. Arguing over music, bruv. Lighten up. Fucking hell, bruv.
Yeah, but it's not that.
This is important.
I know. But what I'm saying is, when real issues, that threaten the plight of our people, show the same vim and vigor for that, is what I'm saying.
I think they do.
I don't think they do.
BLM. So, what do you guys think about having drill at Carnival? It's still a celebration of Black British culture, right? And it's popular. No?
You're asking me. You play whatever you want on Carnival.
Everybody needs to.
No, I'm saying play whatever you want on Carnival.
Do you know what it is? My whole perspective is this, right? Like, who is controlling stuff? That's what I care about. Because I say this all the time. If I'm a Yoruba person, right? And we as a people decide we don't want to speak Yoruba anymore, we want to use English, I may be disappointed. But as a people, we've decided that's now the new thing for the culture. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I asked who is governing the carnival. If it's Caribbean people who are on the committee saying they want Amapiano, I don't know this is the case. I'm asking the question.
The funny thing is, people are looking at this like this is some type of cultural disrespect. It's because Amapiano is popular. It's just business.
It's not about business.
No, I'm not saying that Carnival is about business. I'm saying Carnival is about celebrating Caribbean culture. I'm saying I'm saying the putting Amapiano stage there is because Amapiano is popular.
Can I ask a question?
No, that's
if
the
at
reason.
Afro Nation, or Esther and Iman, if at Afro Nation, I'm asking everybody in the room.
Yeah.
You go there and you see a whole set of soca. What are you guys saying?
I don't care. I don't care.
What the hell?
I care.
What the hell? I don't care.
I care.
I would care.
I care. This
I
is
don't
not
care.
what I came here for.
So if
This is Afro.
All right, let me change it. If
Yeah.
it's an Amapiano festival, right?
Uh-huh.
And
It's
you
an
go
Amapiano
there-
stage. You
Let me
said a
finish,
whole
let me
set
finish,
of
let me
soca.
finish.
Make sure you're making
Let
it
me
the same.
finish.
Parallel the same.
If you go to an Amapiano festival,
Yeah.
right?
And there's a
This is
Caribbean-
just new.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Okay, go on.
This is very new,
Go on.
right? And you hear a whole set of soca in an Amapiano festival.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna care?
No, I'm not going to care.
Is it because you're not from South Africa?
Because this said there's an Amapiano stage in Carnival. So there's one particular stage in Carnival. Will I care that Afro Nation has one set of soca? You asked me a question. I said no.
How many stages are there in Carnival? I don't know in it. So like,
I don't know.
okay, cool.
I'm not a Carnival expert. Ask Brent.
All right, Brent. This is the thing, right? Again, I just keep going back to the organizers in it because my thing is, if they're Caribbean and they want to include it, right? Is it not the prerogative of those on the committee to include it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the conversation started, this, that, and the third. But if people are going to be, if it did start this way, where the Caribbeans who run the committee are saying, you know what, guys, I think it would be nice to have a Amapiano stage. If that's what they're saying, then no one should be complaining to Africans.
Because it's a popular genre of music that everyone is enjoying, Africans and Caribbeans. It's not like this. It's not like Carnival is now an Amapiano carnival. No, one stage in one segment, one faction of the whole carnival.
I'll be honest with you, as someone who absolutely loves Afrobeats, lives, breathes everything Afrobeats. Yeah, if there was Afrobeats festival and I'm seeing soca in there, I'm not here for it.
But are you going to complain about the Caribbeans? Or are you going to complain about the people organising the event?
Whoever catches this, the complaint catches
but we
it.
have to
but then you're not focusing your outrage in the right place then.
Yeah, but
you can't now go and critique all these Caribbeans online when they're not the ones who chose to put the stage there.
I don't think
go and find the people who put the stage there.
Are people critique? I don't. Yeah, but
no, but remember, everyone's arguing amongst each other.
No. When people complain about stuff, you complain about something, you put it out there.
Yeah, but then everyone starts fighting with each other though.
No. I'm not.
Yeah, that's what happens.
No, wait, let me finish. I'm not going to go and start acting and finding the email address and the address to write a letter to the person who's organising it.
Yeah.
I'm going to complain about this event that I'm going to and how this is this. Of course, the person who really should be catching it is the organizer. I don't think that's a valid argument.
That is very valid.
It's not because
to me it's valid.
No, it's not because to me it's not because
that's fair.
when I complain about something, whenever I complain about something, I'm not. Even when we complain about inflation and stuff, I'm not.
And then what
happens
Johnson. Is black people are online.
It is what it is.
Arguing amongst each other, going back and forth for what?
Because
you know what I'm saying? Fighting amongst each other for what?
No, but
why?
It depends.
What do you mean for what?
It has.
I mean,
disrespect.
What do you mean for what?
It's clear for what it's for.
That is like
amongst each other is what I'm saying.
It's the
amongst
disrespect
each other
that is sprinkled in the back and forth.
Yes, if there's disrespect, fair enough. If you say something and someone comes at you, you go at that person. Obviously, because that person disrespected you. What I'm saying is, you putting out your thought. Oh, Carnival shouldn't have this, that, and the third. That incites what? Mayhem. For what? Wait, for what purpose?
Let me understand what you're saying. You're saying that Caribbeans should not go online
and express
and say that this particular.
I'm saying when you do it, phrase it and target it at the right people.
I just want to.
Who does that on social media?
What? Who does what?
Who will have a?
You need to let people finish their sentences.
One at a time, guys.
Please. I need to be clear as to what you're saying.
Okay.
When you said that people shouldn't go online and state what they want to state because it causes mayhem, please clarify that.
I'll clarify. So, Caribbeans shouldn't go online and attack other African people because there's an Amapiano stage.
When you say...
Let me finish.
You said attack. You didn't say the first time.
Let me finish. So, I can't add words into my argument. Exactly. Don't target your fury at other Africans.
I told you that it's the disrespect that's sprinkled into
I just
the
said that though. If you make your initial tweet, there's no disrespect then. After you've said what you've said, that's when it's going to come back to you. And that's when you can combat.
Can I ask what you've seen Caribbeans doing that is disrespectful, as in attacking Africans?
What do you mean?
Is it you've made your statement based on what it is that you've seen, right?
I'm making my statement based on tons of stuff that I've seen. I can't now tell you, this is a particular tweet. I'm just saying in general, I've seen it.
Can I get an example?
No, I don't have an example for you, sorry. I don't have a particular tweet.
All right, cool.
All right. The thing is, right, because I'm literally saying what I'm saying based on what I'm hearing, innit? I don't know how the conversation started online and stuff. So you don't have to correct me if I'm wrong. But my thing is this, right? Did it start with the DOT guy?
No. He was just asking for clarification. It started weeks ago when someone was talking about like hearing the one. I think they said something like they want to hear last at
Carnival.
And people were like, why would you want to hear Afrobeats? Why would you want to hear that? And then it just started a conversation about it being a celebration of Caribbean culture. So why is there other genres of music now coming into the mix?
Yeah.
And obviously there's people who are like, oh, it's not that deep. This is kind of use of sentiment in terms of like, it's not that deep and blah, blah. Like we can't this is division and all that kind of stuff, and basically let them play Afrobeats, let them play whatever it is. And obviously you got the Caribbeans who feel disrespected by that because this is something that is ours. And now just because I've seen a lot of Caribbean sentiments of where people who are accepting of everybody and whatever, that it doesn't give you the right to take the piss, essentially. So just because Carnival's always been for Caribbean culture, right?
Okay.
But just because we've always kind of shared this celebration with other cultures doesn't mean that you now get to come and try to start and build a home
100%.
within our own thing. And that I 100% agree with. Do you know what I mean? So that's how it's kind of started.
Okay.
And then yes, I think some people as well still don't understand. They're like, so what, like, just to clarify, what is it? So all of this conversation was happening anyway until yesterday. One of the official posters came out and said that there's going to be an Amapiano stage.
Okay.
And people are like, what the hell? Why would that happen? I think when it comes to the organizers stuff, when people complain, like social media, you put your thoughts out there. If people want to come and fight and tussle over it, that's what happens. Sometimes people might just see your tweet and ignore it. Do you get what I mean? But a lot of times, sometimes you can argue about something or whatever, because we don't really know who's on the committee. If I had a problem about recess or DLT, I know the organizers I can at them directly, But when it's something like Carnival, certain events and certain festivals, when you don't know who's behind it, you just complain about it. You just put your complaints out there. And obviously the organizers will be the ones to do the adequate research about this event and then be able to take in the feedback. So I think with this one, it makes sense for people to just tweet their complaints and the frustration when they can't act the organizer. I don't know Stella's at, if there is a Stella on there. Do you get me? They're not accessible in that way for people
how you say things, though.
They're not accessible in that way for people to directly be like, hi, Mr. So-and-so, I have an issue. Let's talk about this. Do you get me? But again, you're saying be mindful. But the Caribbeans would argue the same thing.
For example, if a Caribbean went online and said, look at Africans always trying to take over. Is that to you a mindful tweet, or is that you're just generalizing now?
There's truth to that.
But
by saying
doing that,
Africans should, in this particular example, right? Like that's what you asked. Who is the committee behind? Behind Carnival, right? Do we know?
Caribbeans, I believe, right?
I don't know.
So you just said there's truth behind it. If Caribbeans are the committee behind Carnival, and they've chosen to use Amapiano stage, how is a tweet saying, look at Africans trying to take over? How is that?
I'll be honest with you, I'm someone who, I see a lot of things online all the time where people generalize. If it doesn't affect me, I don't take offense to it. So with that, I'm not going to take offense to it. Because for them, and that's me, and I think a lot more people should be like that, because I'm not going to see a Caribbean person tweet, look at Africans trying to take over. I know they're not saying that Africans are coming
most
to...
People are,
no, wait. Let me finish my sentence. I know they're not saying that we're coming to start a revolution at Carnival. I know what they're saying is that this is something from the African culture that could take over Carnival. It's not personal to me.
No,
so someone saying Africans taking over, it's not personal.
Listen, you're talking.
I'm saying Africans shouldn't take it personally, because you're not.
I know
Africans are not going to Carnival with torches and a match.
Me, I'm not even the person for this argument. I don't even fucking engage in Twitter wars or Twitter debates. I don't even tweet. So I understand that someone like yourself who has brains and can see between the lines knows that someone saying Africans trying to take over is not an attack on Africans. But no way, Esther. Most people are fucking stupid and they don't see it that way. And what happens then? Someone jumps on that tweet and it turns into a war between Africans and Caribbean.
But that's a them problem then. If you're in a place where
them problem conflates to a us problem.
It's never going to be a me problem.
I'm not talking about you, one person.
But that's what I'm saying. That
everyone, because I'm not involved in this. I don't get involved in this.
The people who are involved in it, if you're silly enough to be involved in, let's just go off
the issue is most people are silly enough.
No, but and that's a them problem.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, them is not just one or two. You know what I'm trying to say? Them is masses.
Even if it is, it's still a them problem, because let's still go off the example you gave. A Caribbean person's tweeted, they've seen this poster, whatever. They're like, Africans trying to take over. Okay, in my mind, that kind of argument, the Caribbean person is justified, right? But the African person seen that like, what do you mean, blah blah. Now it becomes a war situation. If you're silly enough to engage in that, you deserve all the headache you get.
What I'm saying is, okay, forget it. What I'm trying to say is, most people are silly enough to engage in it. That's the problem. The problem is, most people are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we're the minority. I'm the extreme minority. Someone who doesn't even engage in this shit
Yeah.
at all. Like,
I guess. See, this is why we were talking about before. Education and all that type of stuff is the key thing, because I think where the conflation is, based on what I'm hearing and kind of what I know about carnival and whatnot, is that I think a lot of us feel like this is a celebration of black culture.
Yeah.
When it's not.
And I think that's also misunderstanding there, because some people have that sentiment.
Yeah, but it's like people are scared to ask the question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of attack. And it shouldn't be like that. Like black people, we should be allowed to ask questions without people getting so emotional and just educate. Because many African people don't know.
Yeah.
Even Caribbeans don't know.
Yeah, but
that this culture, like what we do every Notting Hill carnival is to celebrate Caribbean culture. Things happened in history.
Yeah.
Down them sides in West London that made this thing possible. It's for Caribbeans.
But you know what it is as well though? Again, I get the frustration.
Yeah.
Where when people ask, it's like, that's annoying. I have the same sentiment when white people are asking me why is this considered racist, or why is this, when it's like, because basically you're putting where there's education, knowledge to be received, and the onus is on you to go out and gain this knowledge.
Yeah.
You're putting it on the person.
Yeah.
To then explain it to you. So do you get me? So when people ask it, I understand why people do the prefix of, please don't fight me, I'm just asking. I understand it. I would do the exact same thing, because I know you're like to tussle. Do you get me? I get that. But at the same time, I also get the Caribbean people's what's it called? The Caribbean community's frustration, because it's like, you can actually do your research. You really can. Do you get me? Because really and truly as well, most people know a Caribbean person.
Yeah.
You do in-house research, even if, do you get me? I just think it's just taking initiative, because I say the same thing about white people. I'm not here to teach about racism. You can do your Googles, because if we all want to learn how to make banana cake now, we can all do our Googles to do it.
Yeah.
So do the same, keep the same energy. So personally, I get it, because I think especially if they're trying, because what it is here sometimes is someone's trying to tell you why it is, I don't really think, someone's trying to tell you why it is that they don't want Afrobeats, African music at carnival, right?
Yeah.
But the person the African on the other end who wants it there, you've asked for an explanation, you're not listening to it. Instead, what you're doing is, well, get over it, it's not that deep. That's offensive.
Don't minimize it.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So I get their frustration, because I would react the exact same way.
Yeah, it's true.
I would.
Especially, it's just like what Ben was saying about if it was that way around, like Afrobeats, Afro Nation sound.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna want that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest with you, even when Afro Nation, right?
But the thing is, sorry to interrupt you one more time. Yeah. His example earlier, he knows what he done. He picked the genre of music that in terms of like Caribbean music.
Yeah.
Bashment, reggae, whatever. He picked soca deliberately because he knew that that's probably the least liked genre of music that Caribbeans. There's been a narrative.
Yeah. But it's still the same
No,
principle.
hear me out. There's been a narrative for quite a while that soca is probably the most, I would guess, in terms of if you're ranking it, disliked by
least
people
popular
outside of Caribbean culture, right?
Yeah.
If you went to Afro Nation and heard a bashment set, would you care as much if it was a soca set?
No, not as much as it's soca. It's changed completely different.
If you went to Afro Nation and you heard Dexter Daps or Stylo G or Mavado or all the popular Caribbean songs we've heard for years. That's not cap. No one's gonna care. Wait, let's not pretend. If you go to Afro Nation and you hear banging Caribbean set of all the old school songs you've loved, grew up hearing, people are vibing, E-man. They're vibing. He picked soca on purpose because he knew that soca's a bit of a...
That's not why I picked
Okay,
soca.
cool. Fair enough.
Where did that come from?
But what I'm saying is, this notion that if Caribbean music is played in Afro Nation, people can be like, wait, what's this? I didn't pay for this. Stop lying. But you're going to vibe.
But you remember,
you're going to vibe.
You have to remember.
So is Afro Nation just a party? Is it not a celebration of... I don't know what
it is. It's a celebration of Afrobeats.
I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, look, let's not pretending. Everyone's at Afro Nation. Yeah. Drunk on the beach. Let's be practical. Vibing to the music. They start hearing popular Caribbean songs they know. They're still going to carry on vibing to it. They're not going to stop and be, wait a minute. I didn't pay to hear Mavado.
Can I say
They're going to vibe.
Can I just say one thing? Sorry. One thing I was going to say that doesn't kind of make it equal is carnival, right?
Yeah.
Carnival. Carnival.
Yeah.
the generations that go.
Yeah, but okay, cool. If it's not equal, then don't use Afro Nation as an example. Then, if Carnival and Afro Nation are not
Yeah,
comparable,
but there's no
don't-
other examples.
then if it isn't, then you don't bring it into the conversation.
No,
then.
but imagine
mean,
you had
what?
imagine you had
You
like,
just said it's not comparable. So if Carnival
Mhm.
is not the same as Afro Nation
Yeah.
in terms of the heritage, the legacy, what it's
No,
about,
I don't
then
mean it that-
use
I don't mean
as
it
a
that way.
I
comparable
only
example.
just
One sec.
realized today that Afro Nation wasn't a celebration of African music. You just told me that. I thought it was comparable.
Okay, it's
That's
not.
why. That's why he used
It's
the
not
example.
comparable. It's not comparable.
Can I say-
acting cool?
It's not
Afro
comparable.
Nation-
Afro Nation is a new thing that just came about a couple years ago.
I need you to understand that
Notting Hill Carnival,
I
how
need you
long
to
has that been
understand
around
that
for?
Notting Hill
That's been around for
Carnival
years.
is completely different.
I
It's
know.
entrenched in something completely different.
Yeah.
But that's the importance of it.
and that's why.
What?
You can't be lost.
I didn't say that's not important.
You're not
No, but
understand what I'm
that's-
saying.
No,
that's
hear me
why-
out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
I understand that Notting Hill Carnival is about the celebration of Caribbean culture. I understand the history. I'm from Britain, so I've seen it my whole life, right?
Mm.
Me personally, Yusuf, yeah,
Mhm.
because remember, this all comes down to everyone's personal thoughts and preferences, right?
Okay.
Do I believe that living in Britain for years and seeing the merger
Mhm.
of Caribbean Africans together,
Mhm.
sharing each other's music,
Mhm.
food, vibing together, partying together. Yeah, I'm in my 30s, right?
Yeah.
So I've had Caribbean friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've exchanged cultures,
Mhm.
right? Within food, within music, within parties, whatever, right? So I've seen that my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I feel like there should be a big uproar if what we've been doing, exchanging cultures, sharing, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Do I feel like there should be this massive uproar
Mhm.
that some African music has been played in Carnival? Do I feel like there should be a massive uproar that African music has been played at Carnival? No, for me,
Mhm.
because this is what it's always been for me. The merger, the connection, the cohesion of
Mhm.
African and Caribbeans.
I get you.
And,
yeah.
and I don't think that having an Amapiano stage or playing Last or playing Essence, songs that Caribbean probably
Like as well.
do enjoy and like as well,
Mhm.
should be this massive look upon disrespect, especially
Mhm.
when the organizers are Caribbean themselves,
Mhm.
right? And even take that away from it.
Mhm.
I don't even have to use that as an argument, regardless of who the organizers are. Do I feel like it should be this grandiose argument? No, I don't. For me, you do believe it should, and so do you, and so do you. Fair enough. We're all down to our own preferences.
Mhm.
I just think that arguing so passionately about something that's not even, I don't think it's even meant to be disrespectful. I don't think having an Amapiano stage is done. I don't feel like Caribbeans
Mhm.
who are the organizers of Carnival are putting an Amapiano stage there to be malicious to Caribbeans or to be support or to even to dim the light. I don't see that. I don't see it that way.
Yeah, but you remember, like, in a lot of this conversation,
Yeah.
right, we're kind of on the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I was saying, like, sometimes even when you ask the question, right, it can cause people to have their
All right,
backs up,
okay, cool.
right?
So if I ain't qualified to speak, I'm not speaking on it then.
Yeah, but the thing is, Africans do.
If that's what it is, if I'm as a Nigerian person born
Yeah.
in Britain,
Yeah.
if I'm not qualified to speak, I'll shut up.
No, but we do though. That's
What's
the
that?
thing. We still
No,
talk.
but if Caribbeans feel like I'm not qualified to speak about it,
Yeah.
I won't say nothing then.
No, yeah, but
You know
even
what I'm
if-
saying?
no, yeah, I get you. But even if they feel as though we're not,
Yeah.
we still do, and that can be frustrating. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also,
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is, you have to remember that even like just to go back to what you were saying about how people would kind of engage with the music in Mavado
Yeah.
or Vibes Cartel
Yeah.
playing at Afro Nation.
Yeah.
You have to remember, like, that's people of one generation, certain age group.
Yeah.
Carnival is something that's generational.
Alright,
So you got all the people, 80s, you know, who don't
Good
listen
point.
to
No,
Burna
no.
Boy.
Good
You see what I'm
point,
saying?
Good point, because this whole time I've been thinking about the youngers.
That's what
Good
I'm
point. You've
saying.
been talking about the older generation,
Yeah.
our parent generation, but the Caribbean side. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I say though, I think it also comes down to as well how you're passionate about a genre.
Mhm.
So I think the reason why I get Brent's frustration because what Brent feels is exactly how I feel for Afrobeats.
Afrobeats, yeah.
Like, do you get me? So I think because you're not passionate about either of these genres,
Yeah.
it's difficult for you to understand the argument. Because when it comes to Afro Nation,
Yeah.
when Afro Nation, obviously Afro Nation itself is a celebration of Afrobeats. How far Afrobeats has come, whatever, cool. Of course, when when the first one, there was a few Caribbean artists there, whatever, but it was like, okay, cool, whatever. I didn't go to those sets because that's not what I came here for. I came to see the Afrobeat artists that I really like.
Yeah.
Cool. I remember then when they didn't announce the second Afro Nation, I saw a lot of American artists on there. I was like, this is a celebration of Afrobeats.
Yeah.
How on earth? Why do we have the baby on here? Why do we have Meg Thee Stallion on here? Why do we have these people? In my mind, it was confusing. I was thinking, what the heck is that? And then that's when I realized, actually, this is not what I thought it was.
Okay.
So you see what Brent just realized today? I realized that because I said, in my mind, we were celebrating Afrobeats.
But this ain't it.
So I guess Afro we're just celebrating black.
Yeah.
I've said this, I've had an episode on my pod, and I talked about it. I said, so I get the frustration where if this is something that's meant to celebrate a certain culture, you're bringing in other cultures. We've got all the other times in the year, every other time in the year to be together. When Davido had his concert, he brought popcorn out. When what's it called? Cranium and Tiwa Savage make amazing songs. We've got other times in the years for us to be a happy bunch of black people.
Yeah.
I just think when there's a celebration of someone's culture, a particular culture, because remember again, we like to do, we're all the same. We're not the same. We have different cultures.
And this is what I was
Do you
trying
get
to
me?
get to. Yeah.
So let's also let that be the case.
Yeah.
I just think I get it, but I think you don't understand fully because
No, I understand fully.
But it's the passion.
I
Because
can understand
you're
and still
saying,
disagree.
I
can understand.
Yeah, but I think I
and still
honestly
disagree.
think I get that, but
agreeing.
I do think the passion fuels a lot of things. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
because the things you're saying, it's like, okay, cool. Because even when I go to Afrobeats events and I'm hearing bashments, whether it's bashment songs I like or not, this is not what I came here for.
Yeah.
This is not what was advertised to me. I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
So again, I think it comes down to passion.
Yeah.
Really and truly. And how much, it comes down to passion in my opinion.
Anyway, like we were saying, maybe tomorrow we'll get the audience to
And
see
then
what
cool
they're
down a
saying.
little bit.
But also, like I said before, when there's a real issue affecting our people, please give me the same vim as this.
But this is a real issue that's affecting people though. It is a real issue. Just because it's not important to you. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. But this is what I'm talking about, passion.
So
it's not important to you. It doesn't affect
death
you.
in the
That's
black
why.
community is the same as this. Knock it off, Esther, please.
I didn't say
No,
death.
she's not
Just because
saying
two things
death.
can be true at once. Just
Yeah.
because there's
No,
death
but-
doesn't mean this is not a
Yeah,
real
but
issue.
when I
So what are you talking about?
when I say real issues, what do you think I'm talking about?
Any of listen,
Okay,
any
maybe-
issue is a real
Maybe
issue.
it's my mistake. I should be more specific. I'll be more specific. When the issues are about racism, yeah, when black people are being killed by cops, when things are affecting our people in death, yeah, in the real plight, not choice of music at carnival. Come on, let's not pretend. Like
Alright.
I
But
get.
don't you think in itself that's insensitive to say? Don't you think
Fair
that's
enough.
insensitive to
I'm
say?
being sensitive then.
You are.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
because the thing
Okay.
is, okay. What I'm trying to get out is that just because you don't see something the way someone else sees it doesn't mean it's not as important.
Yeah, of
To
course.
say that it's not a real issue
I'm
because
not-
it's
I'm
not
not
racism to you,
Well, for me,
that's cheeky.
choice of
mate.
music
Can't
and
lie to you.
the
That's very
choice of
cheeky.
music at carnival and death. What I just said, I just mentioned death. To me, isn't the same. Okay,
No, but remember, Yusuf,
it isn't the same.
but remember, you're kind of making it about one thing about the choice of music.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an
Yeah,
infringement
but
on people's
no, but that's-
culture.
Yeah, but what is it at the essence though? It is about choice of music.
No,
And
it's
do you know what's mad?
the
Everything
consequences of that.
But
Because
that's this is how it starts.
exactly.
This is how it starts.
Like
This is how what starts.
because
the
if we
changing
start-
of
if we
a
start-
particular thing
yes.
for particular people.
If we keep letting every music genre that's not Caribbean come in 10 years' time,
It won't be
it's-
Caribbean.
it's not going to be carnival like that. They're going to start. They're going to change to something else.
This is not a Afrobeat takeover. This is not the way I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it as this. No, I'm looking at it practically. Maybe
Yeah.
you guys are complaining. Nottingham Carnival is a massive.
Yeah.
It goes from way there,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at it numbers wise, right?
Mm.
I'm seeing it like 90% of the music we're gonna hear is gonna be Caribbean.
Yeah.
There might be a stage over there,
Mhm.
which is doing the Amapiano. There
Okay.
might be a DJ over here, who might throw in a few popular Afrobeat songs within the set. I'm not looking at this like, oh, this is 2020 Afrobeat takeover. I'm not seeing it that way. I'm seeing a little bit of Amapiano there, and again, to me, having a little bit of Amapiano over there and having a DJ over there playing Last and Essence, to me, is not an Afrobeat takeover. I don't believe I'm going to go to Nottingham Carnival and just hear bare Afrobeats. I believe I'm going to hear 90% or even more of Caribbean music. And if I actually I might not even catch the Amapiano stage, bro. Where I am, I might just hear soca and bashment all day long. I might not even make it to the Amapiano stage. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not looking at it like everywhere I turn, I can't escape the Amapiano. I'm not seeing it that way, but I'm seeing it as within this 3-day festival. Is it 3-day festival?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
There's gonna be little sprinkles, little salt bays, little stage over there, something over there. I'm not seeing it as, oh my God, like Africans are coming to take over carnival. And I'm not diminishing, you know, how they feel about it. I'm just telling you how I feel. And me not agreeing in totality doesn't mean I don't understand. I understand.
You just don't agree?
I understand. I just don't agree that it's detrimental to have an Amapiano stage. I don't feel like it's detrimental to have, and that's just me. Caribbeans are going to say otherwise. I understand that. But if you believe that because I'm African and because I don't agree with you that I should shut up, I'll shut up. You know why? Because I don't care to down this hill. So if Yusuf being African and Yusuf not being as passionate about Caribbean music means that I don't have a valid horse in this race, I'll be quiet. Because I don't even engage in these arguments. I'm only talking about it now because I'm here. I wouldn't be talking about this if I wasn't here, E-man.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. But I'm on TDA, so now I have to force an opinion and get involved in an argument. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here.
No, but
You
still,
know what I mean?
obviously, everyone needs to hear everyone's opinion.
Yeah, but
we're
that's
all black people.
But what I'm saying is, I'm voicing my opinion.
Yeah,
But it feels like in this room, my opinion's being this is my opinion. This is my opinion.
No, it's not. It's not that your opinion's being some type of way.
It is.
But it's more
To me,
so.
anyway.
It's more so a thing where we're trying to get you to see it from the perspective.
No,
of-
I see it, but you know what I think about life? When you don't agree with it, you don't see it. You must not understand then. I can understand it,
and still
but still
disagree.
disagree.
Yeah,
I'm not fucking
100%.
stupid, man. I have a
all the time.
fucking brain.
Of course, it happens all the time. But you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
You see when areas get gentrified,
Yeah,
it always starts with one little coffee shop, doesn't it?
100%.
And then years down the line, it becomes a white area.
How can
Case
it
in
ain't the
point in
same
Brixton.
number? How can it ain't the same number?
So let's keep allow one Amapiano here, and last here. In 15 years' time, we'll see what carnival our kids will be going to. But I hope it doesn't get to that point. I do hope. I'm not really for gatekeeping certain things, but with this one, I really hope the Caribbeans heavily gatekeep it.
And this is what I was trying to say to Yusuf as well. Like, it really does. Like, every single thing that we have that is black areas, again, like gentrification, it always starts small.
You know what?
There's a
Cool.
crack.
You know what? Where's the camera? The camera on
The
me?
white's gonna be
Camera
there.
on me? Yo, let's ban Afrobeats. No Afrobeats at Carnival. Carnival needs to be 100% Caribbean music. Because you know why? If not, it's gonna infiltrate. And then in 10 years' time, no Carnival is gonna be all Afrobeats. So let's ban
No.
Afrobeats
It's not that.
from
It's not a case.
Is that in
Carnival.
It's not a
10 years'
case of
time
it.
we can have reggaeton?
It could be
ban.
anything.
Let's
Exactly.
ban.
It could be
Let's
anything.
ban. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm on your side. There should be no other music
dear,
at Carnival bar Caribbean music. Yeah? I said it, the Oracle. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear a pim of hip-hop, pop, nothing. I want to see Mavado and vibes. That's all I want to see, right? That's what I want to hear. There you go.
All right,
anyway,
let's get to
move
people's
on.
journal, man.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. I was going to relate this to Carnival. Because we know after Carnival, the streets is a mess,
Yes, sir.
right? So this first thing, thankfully, it's not happening in London or England. It's bad it's happening in Scotland, period, anyway. But this is what's happening. Basically, there's going to be bin strikes. Yeah, imagine.
Everyone's getting involved.
Yes, everybody. So there's been strikes across the Scottish local authorities, and that's going to go ahead this week despite a new pay offer being made. So there was a previous offer of 5%. Obviously, we spoke about this a trillion times, by inflation, people trying to get their pay rise in line with inflation. Obviously, it's hard to get it in line with inflation, especially when you consider that the projections for inflation come the end of the year and next year is looking like it's going to be 18%, which is crazy. To expect, I guess, businesses or even the government to give you a wage increase like that is kind of mad. Nonetheless, they've been offered 5%, and they're like, nah, this isn't good enough. And so COSLA, which is the body that represents local government, said it had a productive meeting with the trade unions on Tuesday, but three unions said no agreement has been reached, and they called for more funding from the Scottish government. So yeah, Joanna Baxter, who basically represents Unison in Scotland, which is one of the biggest unions. We know about Unison, innit? Yeah, they pretty much said, look, the union is still a long way from an agreement. She said that they negotiated with, pardon me, my screen just went black. They negotiated back and forth, this, that, and the third, and they just still feel like it's not good enough. And so the people have voted to strike. And to be honest with you, rightfully so, man. If they don't do it, I don't know who they're going to get to clean these streets. So I think they need to obviously get back to the table and try and rectify what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing I want to talk about again, it's just about inflation, to be fair. And this is pretty much going to be the narrative.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly, going forward. And just to drill home to people that, inflation right now is 10.1%. But I'm bringing this up because many people basically say, who's benefiting from this? Is some people benefiting from this or is nobody benefiting from this?
Boris and him.
But, I mean, I was just about to say Boris isn't. I don't know why I'm defending that guy. But to be fair, if his investments are in certain places, then he will benefit. And this is the reason why I bring this up. Because again, as black people, if we put our money, excess money, whatever, that maybe just sitting in the bank, right, into certain places, even though we're finding it hard with the cost of living and this, that, and the third, that money could be making money. It sounds bad, like you're making money off people. At the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do.
Yes. This is how the world goes.
100%. So right now, the energy giants, if your money was in oil, you'll be smiling.
That's how I would want to put my money in. Listen, when I'm rich, that's where I'm going for first.
Exactly. But Esther, what I would like to say to you is, don't wait till you're rich. You know what I'm saying?
Is it like a couple pounds here?
It's
like
something.
Or does it be like a lump sum, like 1,500?
It could be that. It could be smaller. You know what I'm saying? It starts small. If you are putting a small amount, prior to this whole war and all that, that small amount would be the big amount that you're waiting to get. You know what I'm saying? So we can't, don't think something's too small. You know what I'm saying? Also, basically, I don't know how you'd invest in mining industry, but yeah, actually, I guess you could. Obviously, gold. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're pretty much doing well as well because a lot of countries are now looking for alternatives to Russia's gas, coal, and all that type of stuff. So now those businesses are starting to, those industries in other countries are starting to boom as well. So again, people, if you've got a broker, if you've got certain things in place, even nowadays, there's these apps. There's one called Free something. I'm gonna get the name and recommend it to certain people. But there's certain apps out there which makes investment easy nowadays.
Okay.
Back in the day, you need to call up your bank, speak to this person, have meetings, sit down, go there, do a bunch of crap. Now you could do it yourself through these companies, and the commission is very, very small for some of them. So again, people,
that'll be handy.
Yeah, man, try and get into it. Shipping companies are doing well, and also sellers of luxury watches and fine wine. Again, we ain't been in this country for that long to be having wine cellars. we know this, right? But there's companies out there that exist where your money can go to invest in. You know what I'm saying? And based on brokers at Knight Frank, they reported basically that the value of investments in fine wine and luxury watches shot up 16% last year. Art went up by 13%. Whiskies and coins, things that we don't even think about. You know what I'm saying? In our community. Like you were saying earlier, there's certain things we just don't know about, right?
Yeah, it's like Soulja Boy with the toilet roll. He invested in toilet roll before COVID happened.
There you go.
And also people were fighting over toilet roll and made a lot of money.
The guy's smiling. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Soulja Boy stays smiling.
And so, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, man. Even the world's largest fine wine trader, which is Bordeaux Index, they reported 37% increase in sales. 37%. That's a lot of money, man. And the key thing is here, it's higher than inflation. So your money isn't just sitting in the bank like it would be doing a couple of years ago, getting 0.5%, which means nothing. You know what I'm saying? You are doing better than inflation. So yeah, it's just something for us to think about pretty much. And that's pretty much the end. Oh, sorry, I've got one more thing for people out there. I don't want to leave it till tomorrow. I know I mentioned before about the cost of living and how everyone's pretty much, not everybody, but certain people in certain cohorts are entitled to certain payments from the government. People received their payment £326 between the 14th and the 31st of July. But that second payment of £324, which is £650 in total, is due to be paid in autumn. So if you're on universal credit, income-based job seekers allowance, employment and support allowance, income support, working tax credit, child tax credit, pension credit, those type of things, and you haven't got your money, go to your job center, DWP, call them up, sort it out basically. If you're like if that's your situation now, for whatever reason, obviously you missed the first one, still apply, and hopefully you'll be eligible for the next one. Every penny helps, man. And this is £300+ man. It's something.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's the end of the People's Journal.
All right, let's get into Wellness Wednesday. I see the word black groups. Is there we have music today, or is this?
Oh, there is.
Music. All right. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. All right, so today's quotes. Music is quite loud, but it's all right. It's nice. It's nice. Thank you, Brent. Today's quotes. I kind of wanted it to be kind of like a continuation of last week.
Okay.
Last week we had the great Nelson Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
This week we have the great Winnie Mandela.
Okay.
As we know, she was the former wife of Nelson Mandela. She passed away about 4 years now. And these 3 quotes kind of speak to the struggle and what was going on, with South Africans, apartheid and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of them can apply to all areas of life.
Yeah.
Cool. So the first one is, it is only when all black groups join hands and speak with one voice that we shall be a bargaining force which will decide its own destiny. Esther smiling. I didn't anticipate this. But it's powerful. I'm going to say it one more time. It's only when all black groups join hands and speak with one voice that we shall be a bargaining force which will decide its own destiny. The next one, and Winnie Mandela was a big proponent of women's rights. Carnival. And carnival too, according to Brett. She said, to those who oppose us, we say, strike the woman and you strike the rock.
Period.
There you go. I'm going to say it one more time. To those who oppose us, we say, strike the woman and you strike the rock.
I'm going to make that Instagram caption. That's a good one.
It's powerful. And the very last one, not least though, but last. If you are to free yourselves, you must break the chains of oppression yourselves. Only then can we express our dignity. Only when we have liberated ourselves can we cooperate with other groups. Any acceptance of humiliation, indignity, or insult is acceptance of inferiority. I'm going to say it one more time. If you are to free yourselves, you must break the chains of oppression yourselves. Only then can we express our dignity. Only when we have liberated ourselves can we cooperate with other groups. Any acceptance of humiliation, indignity, or insult is acceptance of inferiority. And that's today's Wellness Wednesday.
That was lovely. That last quote, that was the last sentence. I like that.
Cool. Very apt.
Very. All right.
Yes.
Let's get into our last headlines for today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a
nice
remix. I can't even lie to you. That was actually a nice remix.
All right. So, this headline is to do with the drought that's been happening, not just in the UK. Remember, we spoke about this last week, but happening throughout Europe. And basically, what it is 2/3 of Europe is under some sort of drought warning in what is likely to be the worst of such an event in 500 years. The latest report from the Global Drought Observatory, says 47% of the continent is in warning conditions, meaning soil has dried up. Another 17% is on alert, meaning vegetation shows signs of stress. The report warns that the dry spell will hit crop yields, spark wildfires, and may last several months more in some of Europe's southern regions. Compared with the average of the previous 5 years, EU forecasts for harvests are down 16% for grain maize, 15% for soybeans, which is bad for the vegans, and 12% for sunflowers. The Drought Observatory is part of the European Commission's research wing. Responding to it, the Commission warned that preliminary data suggests the current drought still appears to be the worst since at least 500 years. Research Commissioner Maria Gabriel said the ongoing heat wave and water shortages have created an unprecedented stress on water levels in the entire EU. We are currently noticing a wildfire season sensibly above the average and an important impact on crops production. Climate change is undoubtedly more noticeable every year. The report warned that nearly all of Europe's rivers have dried up to some extent. Apart from the obvious impact on boats, dry rivers are also hitting the energy sector, which is already in crisis. Hydroelectric power has dropped by a significant 20%, according to the report. So yeah, man. Again, this is something that not could, but is affecting us. Obviously, we got the whole hosepipe ban, which is being enforced. But yeah, it's happening throughout Europe. And the next headline, again, kind of relates to our connection to Europe, was about the Eurotunnel and what happened yesterday. So dozens of people were left stranded for hours inside the Channel Tunnel after a train from Calais to Folkestone appeared to have broken down. Footage emerged showing Eurotunnel Le Shuttle passengers being evacuated through an emergency service tunnel after having to abandon their vehicles. They were eventually transferred to a replacement train and taken to the Folkestone terminal in Kent. The shuttle said the train's alarms went off and this indeed needed to be investigated. Sarah Fellows, age 37, she was a passenger. She was giving her account and she pretty much said the service tunnel was terrifying. It was like a disaster movie. We were just walking into the abyss, not knowing what was going to happen. We all had to stay under the sea in this big queue. There was a woman crying in the tunnel, another woman having a panic attack who was traveling alone. Another passenger who didn't want to be named said several people were freaking out about being down in the service tunnel. It's a bit of a weird place. We were stuck down there for at least 5 hours. The shuttle, which transports vehicles through the tunnel, initially said on Twitter a train had broken down, but later added to the BBC that a train had not actually broken down, but it's just that the alarms going off meant investigations were needed.
That's my worst fear, you know. One time I was stuck in the Rotherhithe tunnel because 2 cars in front of me, I think they hit each other. Something happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is my... I can't be stuck in a tunnel. Even like when I'm on the underground and it goes through the dark bit, I'm like, Lord, let me see the other side. I just can't. It stresses me out. It stresses me out.
It's horrible. Sometimes, I don't know why this stupid thought comes to my head. I just think to myself, what if we're driving through Rotherhithe or Blackwell Tunnel or whatever, you just see a crack and you see water coming through. What do you do? You know what I'm saying?
Because you know what is...
Could I have 3-point turn here?
Yeah. I always think, because basically the other day I was going through the Blackwell Tunnel and there was this truck next to me, but I could see like some kind of spark going off. I was speeding through. I said, nope, not me, not today, Satan. I'm not about to be next to you when this goes off. Then that, it's mad.
Yeah.
And it's very crazy.
Yeah, there's no room to maneuver at all. You're just finished.
You're just finished. Yeah. You can't even get out running. You can't, like...
Yeah.
The ghetto. All right, let's get into the outro. All right, it's a lovely show as always. Thank you guys for tuning in as you always do. Do like this video, subscribe to the channel, join our community, community.thenewblack.com. We'll be having more information for you guys before the end of the week or on the day that the weekends about what we're going to be doing with the community and, you know, the TDA stuff. So get to joining, get to referring, do all that great stuff. Follow us on all our social media platforms the day after TNB. Like, comment, share our videos, do all that great stuff. If you would like to send voice notes, text messages in, asking for a friend, this what would you do, or just comments in general, send it into 075 64841073. If you would like to inquire about the show, feature on the show, email the team the day after at thenewblack.com. Black is spelled with an X. Happy Wednesday. We'll be back here tomorrow.